Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Sister Friends podcast. It's another cold day for me here in 2021. I am your co host, Sam. And with me, I have Jam Jam and Lo. Hello, ladies.
Hi, Sam.
Greetings. Hi, dolls. Hi, dolls.
Hi, darling.
We see what we're up for today.
I'm happy to see you, darling. Today, we're going to be talking about whether it is really possible to forgive and forget.
No,
No, Jam, that's pretty
No.
definite. That's very definite, Jam. All right, so take it away, Jam. You're going to be the first one to speak on the topic.
well, fabulous. Well, let me first apologize if you can hear some background noise like a mongrel dog a bark or one jump and a play. My apologies. It's not my yard. It's the neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
For me, personally, can I forgive and forget? It depends on the transgression. I must say, I can forgive, but I do not forget. I have a thing for holding on to things, which I'm trying to work on. But yes, I do not forget, but I do forgive in certain situations.
Okay.
Interesting.
So give me an example of a situation where you could forgive easily. Like how on a scale of 1 to 10, how severe does the situation have to be for you to not forgive?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 11. But it depends on the person too. If I don't like the person, I'm not forgive them.
No, there's a lot of
I
variables.
probably forgive, yeah, but I'm not forget.
Let's say
if me and
a friend.
Oh,
Let's
a friend.
say, let's say somebody as close to you as us.
A friend.
Oh well, I'll forgive you guys, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
forgiving me for being late.
easy.
So I could have thief your money and you'd have forgive me?
Well, no, I don't put my money, but other things, yeah, I would let slide, and yeah, I forget things with you guys. But like people I don't really rap with like this. No, I might forgive you, but I won't forget, and we're not gonna basically chatty or converse or whatever.
What
Have
about
I do?
family? What about family?
Oh Lord Jesus, them know. Well, nobody in my family ever really do me anything too severe. We might have one argument or two, but yeah, you forgive that is a family. But I mean, nothing has ever really happened to me where I would say it's like it's severe that I have up somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like little things like if if you drop things on the floor and you don't pick it up, or you put something out of place, or if you lie about something, I'm gonna find out about it depending on the degree of the lie.
Fine.
Yeah, it depends on how big a lie it is. Yeah, I'll forgive, but I won't forget, and sometimes in certain instances I do not forgive.
Sam shared something earlier this week. The stupid neither forgive or forget.
Yeah,
The naive forgives, don't forgive but forgets. And the wise forgives but never forgets.
Yeah, my wise. Wise right here.
Right.
Because if you do it again to me, it's my fault.
Right.
So not forget.
But then when you look at it, when you think of friendships, focusing on a friend that you grew with, you've had experiences with, and that friend hurts you. It's a real genuine hurt, not something mild, a real genuine hurt where you were hurt. Can you forgive that person? Can you forget? Should you forgive and forget, or do you forgive but never forget? The wise forgives but never forget. But at what point do you have to, I guess, let go of that friendship. I think that's the choice that becomes difficult. And then it ties into, I have forgiven you. I will not forget about you, but our friendship is no longer what it is or what it was.
Okay.
So
Well,
I want to chime in just because this is a topic that I have a lot of thoughts, and I've thought a lot about this type of thing. For me, I will work on a situation until I get tired, and if I feel like the effort isn't reciprocated,
right,
then I'm done.
right, right.
So, done. But that's it. There's no turning back at that point. So whether or not I have forgiven, which I will oftentimes do. I will say that. I will oftentimes forgive. Um, the relationship will never be the
the
same
same
for
now.
me or repaired. I and I'm okay with that. And that's something that I've been working on personally for about the last year or two of my life is acceptance, right? So I've become stronger in accepting that some things aren't going to be lasting forever, that some things cannot be what they were, and that some things can no longer be repaired, right? And once you have reached that level of acceptance, okay, it's easy to say goodbye to it, right? While forgiving.
Right.
I don't think that forgiving, and I strongly believe this, forgiving does not have to mean repairing. You can forgive and
Right.
walk away.
Right.
You can forgive and walk away. I'm not a forgetter either. And there is school of thought that the holding on, the remembering, the not forgetting is labor for your soul. And it's taxing on you, and it's
Right.
taxing on your energy. And I would ideally like to get to that place where I can forget, but I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not there yet. And I'm talking about things that have been done to me from 18, 20 years ago.
Right.
I have not been able. I mean, you guys know of some of these. You guys know of one particular situation in particular I've been thinking of that happened when I was in college and with, someone we all know. And I could never be friends with that person again. I have forgiven them, but I will never forget.
Right. Right. I've had a couple experiences, well, more than a couple, but two of them were very hard. And you're talking real friendships, years of friendships and experiences. And something happened, that interruption. And I know you guys can relate very well to the interruption of a smooth flowing thing or something where you thought it was smooth, but there was an interruption. And I chose not to ignore. And when I chose not to ignore, it caused issues, it caused friction. And that friendship, the friendship broke up. And it did, because I chose not to repair. And it came as a surprise, because for me, I'm that person. I can't even remember that I'm supposed to be mad at you. So I don't stay mad forever. I don't stay mad for a long time, because I just can't remember. I have so much going on. I don't dwell on it. I'm not a dweller. I just move on. But it comes to a point where as we grow, as we mature, you can't repair anymore. You may have forgiven. Half the time I won't remember. So the forget part is shaky with me, but it's the repair. And sometimes you have to accept that people aren't at the same level with you. Have you ever had that experience where you thought you had a friendship, but then you realize, oh, wait, this was always surface? Or
one way.
Yeah.
Right? Or one way.
So you have that friendship, you think it's real, you think it's genuine, you think it's hardcore, but then the interruption happens and you realize, oh, wait, so we weren't as cool as I thought we were. And these are instances where a lot of people experience it, and what do you do when there's an interruption in that friendship? Do you forgive and forget? do you continue to repair? Where is the line? And we all had this group session the other day with professionals and everything, where a lot of things that came up it took me by surprise. It took us by surprise, where we have to learn to let go.
Yeah.
Sometimes the friendships grow apart, just like marriages. And you just have to learn. It's going to be hard. It's hard to accept. Forgive. Don't forget. But you can't repair everything.
Yeah, you can't hold on to it. Let it go.
Right.
But I'm the type of person where I don't have no filter. So if you do me something, I gotta tell you. And if your feelings hurt and you don't want to talk to me after, fine. Me still gonna live and breathe without you. So if, as Sam said, me try with you and me not see no effort from you, then it's bye-bye. Not time for waste.
But what if there is effort, but you don't realize it's not genuine? How do you identify that?
Not genuine effort?
Right.
Oh, hell. I can smell bullshit a mile away. So, yeah. Never call you out pan it and say, no, this not going to work. So it's either like, leave me alone.
Right.
Well,
leave it alone.
Here's the thing, right? Okay, so there's so many layers to this topic that it's
right.
Because it really is possible for people to change. Right?
Agreed.
It is possible for people to change, and it is possible. I've had friendships that have bounced back and thrived after. So I do think it's possible. It's the can you forgive enough to give a second chance, right?
Or third, or fourth.
Or third, or well, fourth, maybe pushing it. I don't know. But people can change, right? And we have to see that, and I do agree with what Jan said. It does depend on the level of the transgression, the severity of the transgression. If your friends sleep with your man, then there's no coming back from that for me.
Right. Well, let's talk about experiences. Let's talk about experiences.
Come back from that.
Knock on wood.
Yes, I have seen people come back from that.
Sir.
You know what I mean? And thrive and continue with their friendships and grown stronger in their friendships after that. It's not for me, but I've seen it.
No, I went to Myrtle Grove. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that.
I mean, so there's layers to it, and the acceptance, I think, is a very important part of it. I don't know. What I can ask the two of you, though, is because, Lo, you said that organically you tend to forget, right? Not necessarily by choice, but just.
And I just had to turn off my whole aromatherapy that I had to calm me down for this topic. So I'm good now.
And then Jam, you said that you're not a forgetter. I'm not a forgetter either, but let's talk about how that feels for you, right? Let's talk about whether or not you think that weighs you down in life. Is that really labor for your soul? Lonely, do you feel lighter because you're able to forget?
I don't feel lighter because it's just that when you have a lot going on, it comes back. But it hurts. It does hurt because when you see something on the TV or you go back through pictures and you see those experiences, you remember, and then everything starts to play in your mind. Well, was this genuine at that point? You know what I mean? Like, what part of it did I get wrong? Because you have to do some self-evaluation. And when someone hurts you, the reason why I think and I do believe you should forgive, because it shows emotional intelligence. And for your emotional state of mind, it's important that we forgive. So once you forgive that person, but you do some self-examination, the part where I think you have to have that really high level of emotional intelligence, that high level of maturity, is addressing that person.
Oh my gosh. That's another big topic, right? Because that takes
courage.
Courage in some instances, right? But mostly courage for self. to me, right? If the person is a person who has done you wrong, it takes a lot of courage for self to go in there and rehash it and bring it up and
Yes.
show them where they went wrong,
Right.
and show them why you guys are not friends again, and talk about that, and then talk about whether or not you can save the friendship or the relationship or whatever it may be. Yeah. That's
I had a very dear friend, and this was years ago, talking about probably 10 years ago. I had to cut off, and this is someone who has slept at my house. I've slept at her house. I had to cut her off because of a lie. And there are a lot of things.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, I remember that one.
I remember.
Right, because of a lie,
Jesus.
where you can say a lot of things. I will support you. I'm that person who will find that bail money. You can call me when you're locked up. Don't worry, I got you. But when you tell a lie, especially about stealing, that's the lie.
Lie.
Right there. You can't do that. You can't do that. And when you know, it's like you've seen it happen, you've covered, you've found excuses, but when it hits home, it hurts, and you have to make a tough decision. And I did tell her, and I told her why. And I said, I can't do it anymore because you crossed that line. And it's important in any friendship to have a line.
Well, let me ask you this, right? So let's play on that same instance, an example that you're using. Do you think that you've truly forgiven? A.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you have forgiven.
I have.
But obviously but forgetting, I don't think means necessarily forgetting that it happened, in the sense of just forgetting the emotions that surrounded it, and the anger and the hurt and the pain that surrounded it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's how I interpret the forgetting. I think we can't just wipe an instance out of our memory. You know,
And-
we're not, what do you call that movie again? Men in Black.
Men in Black. But
Yeah, you can't just do that.
right. And to be wise is not to forget. I think what we are confusing, or what some people confuse, is forget and repair.
And repair. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
say
Well,
you, Jam?
Well, to the point of forgetting, I don't dwell on. It's not like a walk around rehashing everything. I just don't forget it, so I don't feel weighed down or anything. As I said before, I'm the type of person who will confront you right then and there. I don't make nothing fester. So me would tell you what me not like about the situation, and then me, all right, if you're not all right, that is your problem. But me, my chest, all right, I'm clear, and my heart, good.
And you can sleep at night.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I
So-
understand.
Yeah, I don't
you-
make things fester.
Do you sit back before you confront? Do you sit back and see how you contributed to it?
Of course. Yeah, and sometimes I am wrong, yes, and I will own up to that. But if not, I will let you know.
Okay. And I think also it's important in friendships to learn from experiences, because that first
Exactly.
experiences has brought me through other experiences. It's taking me through one right now. But another experience I had where it was a group, a close-knit group, friendship, almost like ours. And I had to mentally, physically, emotionally take myself away for me.
Why?
I was confronted. I guess I was the person. I was
Well,
confronted.
yeah, because no, this is a good spin. This is a good spin.
Yeah,
So
I was confronted
okay. Go ahead.
because they couldn't understand that I needed this for me, for my mental health, because I wasn't happy. I was dissatisfied. So sometimes people take themselves away because of how they feel. But I did say why, but people just don't believe, right?
Why?
So-
But why wouldn't they believe?
Because
I don't understand.
people want what they want. So it's like if I say you're my friend, then Jam, damn it, you're my friend. Don't walk away. You're my friend. Stay here. You may
Yeah.
not you may not be happy, but I'm happy.
It sounds like because they were in a different place than you, that except it's difficult for them to understand where you are and where you are coming from. So now, considering that to them it looks like you sat and spoke with them, even though you never asked for forgiveness. Do you think that they forgave you? Not that, even though it's not something necessary that requires forgiveness. Do you?
There
think that
was
they
an
forgave-
interruption. And as we had that group session the other day, life is good, life is calm,
Oh,
and then there's an interruption.
No, no. What exactly you mean by interruption? Because it's like a Jada and Will thing about engagement.
No, it's not entanglement. It's not
Entanglement, yeah.
No. So life is going smooth, right? Life is going smooth.
Yeah.
And then something happens. Something happens that causes hurt. Something happened that caused a disagreement. That is an interruption. So any relationship, marriage, mother, daughter, mother, son, any kind of relationship, things are going smooth. Then something happens that causes problems or that caused a problem. That's an interruption. It could be, as you say, you keep parking behind me every night and you know I leave in the morning, you block me in. Or your curfew was 10 p.m., 3 nights straight, you're coming in at 12. That's an interruption, whatever that causes the anger. That's the interruption, right? So when the interruption happened, I am normally the person that forgives. Just move on, get it going. So that minute when the person who is typically, moving on, let's forgive, once you stop doing that, that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's how friendships.
There needs to be more than. So see, that should not be a one-way street, right? And it needs to be more than one person willing to forgive.
Yeah. So you were the one in the situation that was always forgiving.
Yes.
And saying, let's make peace. You're the peacemaker, but other people would not do that.
They expect it.
Oh.
So, it becomes a time where you're always the one doing the dishes. So people continue to dirty dishes.
Yeah.
And then the minute you're like, I'm done doing dishes, they're like, oh, but you always did it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say for me and my pattern, and I am who I am.
Right.
I'll try, and then when I'm done trying, I'm done. I'm not going to try again.
Yes.
That's my pattern.
Because you have to protect, right?
But I'll move on.
Mm-hmm. And you have to protect yourself. It's important to protect yourself so it doesn't keep repeating.
Yeah.
Right? So, one, protect yourself, learn from it, build stronger relationship with others, have a high level of emotional intelligence so you get to grow from each experience.
Right.
And then you stay wise. But
what about when you're the one who's committed the transgression and you're seeking the forgiveness and you don't get it? That's a tough pill to swallow too, because we're all human. We've all messed up in relationships, whatever the relationship is. And you're the one now who is seeking the forgiveness and begging for the forgiveness. In some instances, you have to humble yourself, right?
Yes.
If you think it's something worth saving. How do you move on if the person never ever gives you that forgiveness?
You have to do, what is it? Self-retrospection, is it? I think that's the word. Forgive me. But you have to look into yourself. If you did something wrong, you have identified you did something wrong, you're seeking forgiveness, and you didn't get it. One, you have to respect that person's decision.
You have to, exactly.
You have to.
And I think that's where a level of maturity comes in. You have to respect the person's decision.
Yes.
You cannot force someone to forgive you.
No.
And repair.
No. Because they're not ready.
They're not ready. And they may never be ready.
Yes. And that's also okay. It's their choice.
Absolutely.
Right? Right? And then if that person isn't ready, you can't get angry at them. You have to just say, you know what? Another life lesson, another chapter in my story. And you learn from it and form better relationship with others.
And just, don't allow it to happen again.
Right.
In another relationship, grow from it, right?
Right.
And I think we've all been in that position. I was in that position as a child. Something happened on the playground, and I was wrong, and I never ever got forgiveness for it. But it burdens you, right? So it weighs you down, and you're seeking for, not perfection, but you're seeking to just make things the way they were, and that lingers and lingers and lingers with you. So I think you hit the nail on the head. You have to respect the person's decision. Just don't let it happen again.
Yeah, no, when something happens to interrupt a friendship, let me just use my Lord's word.
Right.
When a friendship is interrupted, it's never the same after. It will never be the same.
I disagree with that somewhat. Because thinking of personal relationships, like your partner, your spouse, your ex-boyfriend and things like that. Well, I guess they're ex, but some relationships can be built. The bridge can be repaired. You're not going to forget. You're going to learn. But if you have that level of maturity, you can learn.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm saying the way the relationship was before, it will never be the same after the interruption. It may be better, or it will not be at the same level. It may be better,
True, can be better
in some lucky instances, or it will not be as it was.
So what do you think we can impart on our listeners from this? We can confess, we did do a group session with a professional. What did we learn about friendships?
Well, for me, based on what he said it's okay to walk away and not blame yourself after you trying to help the situation. So it's okay to let go and be fine with yourself with that decision.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaways that I would give our listeners is acceptance. That you can forgive and leave the relationship, and that's okay. Yeah. Acceptance that if you are the transgressor, that you have to accept that person's decision and respect it.
Give them time.
Yeah, give them time, or just leave them be.
Or leave them, yeah.
You have to walk away. You have to accept that things just happen for a reason. And I think a big takeaway is that it's important to remember the incident, but forget the pain that it may have caused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you forgive, because to let all of that go, but you don't forget. But the forgiving will take this thing out of the
right
pain of it, and over time I don't forget, but yeah, some people do.
You're right. The forgive part does take the pain away. That's when you know you have forgiven.
Right.
And again, I'm going to bring it back. That emotional intelligence, that's when you know you've hit the spot, because you can forgive your transgressors. As we should. We should.
But
we shouldn't forget.
Right? Do it in your own time. Do it in your own time, at your own speed, in your own capacity.
Yes. Yeah, when you're ready. when you're ready. And again, not every relationship has to be repaired.
Yeah, not every relationship can be saved.
No. Yeah. And that was my lesson that I learned. I didn't know that. I thought forgiveness is a part of repair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So
I understand why you thought that, but no. No. Well, I think that's a good place for us to leave for today, ladies.
I know. I hope we imparted knowledge and that everyone will now go and Google emotional intelligence.
Thank you all for joining us. And we really appreciate each and every one of you who listen and spend your time with us.
Thank you, everyone. Remember, follow us on Instagram at Sister Friends Podcast, Facebook Sister Friend Podcast, Twitter Sister Friends Pod. Again, this is another episode that I hope you have enjoyed listening to, and join us soon for another episode of the Sister Friend Podcast.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.